Hello, fellow humans. My name is Ed,
And my name is Ben.
and this is Brown Bear Radio. Ooh, did I stuff that up? Did we not change it?
No, we
Keep
didn't
going.
change it.
The podcast that makes you feel more at homo.
How you going, Ed?
Oh no, we're a train wreck.
We are a train wreck, Edward.
Oh, we can't even do the intro anymore. Oh dear, Ben. Maybe it's a sign for the episode. I'm doing well, thank you. As I told you, I am rather tired, so this episode might be extra zany. But I'm very excited about it. It's called Gays in the Workplace, and we have invited special guest Stephen, who is an ex-client, as well as you, Ben, to get into it with us. Me and him were having a good, passionate chat about it the other day, and I said, you know what? Like, I think this would make a great podcast discussion, and I think it deserves to exist. So please come on. And he said, hell yeah, and we'll introduce him real soon. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing well. We've had a long weekend here in Australia, so I'm feeling rested and relaxed and ready. Well, not ready, and having to head into the work week once again and be a functional adult. Well, legal definition of an adult. The functional is very questionable, but we're going to get there.
Okay, great. Sounds great. Whoever you're responsible for, look out. Alrighty, so today's topic is gays in the workplace. How do you feel about this topic, Ben?
I am really excited to explore this with your perspective and with Stephen's perspective, because I think it is actually quite a really important topic that I don't think actually gets discussed quite as much as other topics. So it's going to be really cool to really deep dive into thoughts, feelings, and experiences around this.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just, this is not a common conversation. And when Stephen was getting so passionate about it, I was like, God damn, like I've felt that stuff. I've been there. I want us to have this conversation. So who knows where it's going to go? We do basically, but we also don't. So with no further ado, let's introduce Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
Good afternoon, chaps.
Hello. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for taking the time. And you too, Ben, volunteer under distress. Welcome, gentlemen. We're having a three-way.
Woo!
That's the spirit.
Tick that off my list.
Oh, is it your first time?
What?
No.
He's just joshing you guys. Of course he's had threesomes.
That's right. Well, this wasn't on my 2026 bingo card, but I should have added it.
No, I took threesomes off my bingo card after a night in, was it Amsterdam? I was in Europe. Anyway, this couple, they took a shining to me and, of course, invited me back to their place. I should have taken it as a red flag when they got me to dismiss the other guy that was also interested. And I was like, why don't you guys do it yourself? Anyway, yeah, they were like snobby and weird. And then when we were done, they're like, oh, you should go home now. And I was like, I can't even just nap here. Like, we're drunk and it's like 4 a.m. They're like, nah. I was like, oh, okay, you're terrible. This was bad. Goodbye. But not only that, I don't think threesomes are my energy, man. It just doesn't feel right for me. Some guys can like it. That's great. I like one-on-one.
Except in the podcast world, because we're going to rock this.
Oh, yeah. Well, this... have we had a threesome before? We did, right? We've interviewed one person.
Why we did. We have. So it went brilliantly. So it's just going to be brilliant.
Well done. Great. Okay, good. Good predictions. Stephen, what do you want the audience to know about you first before we get into the topic? What's your basic infos?
Okay, so I'm a mid-40s gay chap from Ipswich, Queensland. In my previous working lives, I've actually been a manager at a very large Australian company with lots of staff reporting to me. I've also worked in employment law, and then more recently, I've been working in disability support, and I'm a nursing student. So I like practical outcomes from the things we do, and in general, just helping people directly. So I guess that's sort of my background.
Nice. I find you to be a very sensible, very intelligent person. Your legal training and work experience really do shine through in the sensible, straightforward things that you say. And I'm looking forward to you assisting us in really dissecting things thoughtfully. It's kind of amazing, though, that you have such a wide range of experience. So like corporate world, middle management with teams and reporting, into being a lawyer, employment law, followed by now turning to nursing. Why did that happen?
I suppose with the legal world, it's, I mean, somewhat selfishly, there's not much of a work-life balance, in truth. It's very easy to get disillusioned when you think about, am I actually helping these people? Or
Mm,
am I just helping people stay angry for longer, as opposed to solving an immediate problem in their life?
yeah,
Uh, so, and I think nursing is a better reflection of how you can show up for an individual or a group of people in a hospital, help them out for a period of time, but then you leave, someone else is taking over from you. So you know those people are still taken care of, and you get to go off and live your life.
yeah.
So that's probably a big part of the change.
Nice. So yeah, you got disillusioned with the legal system, and boy, anyone who's been through it can probably relate and be like, wow, lawyers don't have the greatest jobs on earth, and that was no fun at all solving this legal dispute or not solving a legal dispute, as you say, and the lawyers get paid, but maybe no one's happy, and then that was really heartbreaking too many times. Yeah, I want my life back.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. Well, that's cheery. Ben, do you have any questions for Stephen, Ben?
I love how you were talking about how you can clock off and know that the person is still being cared for. As someone else who has, a job that requires that level of empathy, it's something that you do worry about. So I totally linked in with what you were saying when you were talking in regards to that, and just being able to be feeling like you're there and supporting and helping in the moment, and not necessarily creating more roadblocks for people. So totally love and respect that.
Okay, nice. Stephen, why did you choose this topic, gays in the workplace, to help us understand why are we having this conversation today? Why do you care about this? And what's the basics of what you have to say?
So I've had, as we've already said, a bit of a range of experiences in corporate workplaces and elsewhere. And I was a gay man in those workplaces, starting from junior roles and working my way up, and also hiring people, bringing people in. And one thing I noticed, or started to notice quite early, is that if you are different in any way, and in my case, being a gay man, you have to tread quite cautiously to start with. So you spend a lot more of your time when you start a new job, especially trying to get a lay of the land. If you're in a big team, you're trying to work out what everyone's individual sort of viewpoint is to gay people and other minorities. And you end up spending all of this mental energy focused on that rather than what you could be doing in your job, getting better at your job, getting better quickly at your job as well. You can end up months behind
Mm,
just learning because you've spent all this mental energy on something that should be irrelevant. And then as a result of that, you're not doing your job particularly well. Um, you're slower to catch up. You're slower to in your career, trying to make those steps. And you're also not doing the best for third parties. So if you work in a job where you're helping other people, they're not getting the best version of you. Um, and they're not getting the best care as a result, which means their outcomes sort of getting worse as well. So it becomes this sort of falling dominoes of bad experiences. That
mm,
means not everyone is getting the best experience possible.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
so, and that's
Were
sort of what led
you?
me. Yep.
Is it worse for? I mean, obviously, it's sort of worse for closeted guys. But what if you just come out at work? What if you quote unquote bring your whole self to work? Does that not solve the problem?
I suppose in some workplaces, yes, but if you do that from day one, you run into issues where maybe you wouldn't have career advancement as quickly, or someone doesn't like you just for that reason, or they
Yep.
even
Yeah.
view what you're saying through that lens. So, like, you're only saying that because of X, not because of your expertise or your background, but because you have some what they think is a predetermined agenda. So,
Yep.
I like the idea of bringing your whole self to work, but I mean, having also worked in discrimination law, I can see where it's gone very badly for people.
Yep.
Exactly. And I know, like how it was explained to me one time, is you've kind of got to find that sweet spot if you are going to bring it up, because if you bring it up too early, it looks like I'm rubbing it in your face, or I'm too out there. And then if you leave it too late, it's, oh, I didn't trust you with this information. And so it's, when I had this discussion with people in the past, it's having that mentality around it as well, going, well, I don't know when the right time is to potentially reveal this part of me in a professional workplace setting.
Yep. Very relatable. Have you guys ever had that thing where you finally do come out? I'm gonna pick on straight men in this time, and they treat you differently, but it's like positive. They're like, "Oh man, and Ed being gay is so great because we love diversity in the workplace," and clap for Ed, right? So it's this positive thing, but you get othered, and the othering isn't helpful.
Yeah, I've been on, and as you said, more often with straight men. You get to be the audience for their soliloquy, just about how tolerant they are, and
yes,
how wonderful it is you came out, and they would never do this. And here's another example of where they reacted well to someone, and it's so great you're doing this. And then pointing you to the LGBT sections of the company, which was part of your induction. We all know it. So that, and I do accept that they mean well, and I've always tried to view it through that lens, and never really challenged them on it, even if that might have been helpful. Because again, you don't want to put a sour face on them where you're one of the bad gays that, well, I tried to tell him that how wonderful I was, and then he just got annoyed at me. So now it just became a reason to not like me or cause issues. So
yeah. It really does just feel like this attachment that's attached to us that is invisible until we reveal it. And it would be really nice if it just wasn't a thing. But it is. It just really, really is. And there's no escaping that. We can't know in advance what people are going to think or how they're going to treat us or how they're going to respond. That's all their personal shit. But all that personal shit doesn't matter until there is a gay person, and then suddenly it's a bit of a minefield for us. So, Ben, do you have any personal experiences of being gay in the workplace being a problem, holding you back, making you angry? Were there any disasters or any good outcomes?
I've had experiences with management just outwardly telling me to tone down the gay. That happened early on in my career. That was quite a jarring experience.
Yeah, how was that? What happened?
Well,
to
look,
you?
I was in a small country town at the time, and part of it, there was a public presentation. Ben was being Ben, and is a bit flamboyant and a bit energetic, and was kind of told, whoa, let's just, never said anything inappropriate, was completely professional, but it was told, no, let's just bring that, let's just bring that back a little bit, and maybe be a little bit more Narnia than out, which was very disconcerting and quite it just made you feel a little bit uneasy, and just you didn't know where you then stood from that point on, and if there was what was going on behind the scenes. I also had a client that I was working with try and out me and make my life particularly difficult
As a
at
kind of
work,
blackmail or
and
revenge?
yeah, a little bit. And it was I thankfully had a manager who was just absolutely fantastic, separate, different manager, who stepped up big time, and behind closed doors, I found out later, just defended me and was like, I don't know what happens in Ben's personal life, but they do their job well, and they are the best person for this job, and if that's on you to deal with. Which was absolutely, that was when I found out that was also quite healing and affirming that it is okay, that I am okay in this scenario.
Yeah, in your workplace with
in
that
my
manager,
workplace.
at
Yeah.
least you got them in your corner, and it was made very clear
Yeah.
when they actually took action and stood up for you.
That's it. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to see. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, would be nicer if people didn't have a problem with your existence in the first place, though, right?
I mean, yeah, that'd be cool too. But
That'd be sweet.
baby steps in the right direction.
You'll take it.
I'll take it.
It's very generous of you, Ben, to take it so well.
But
Stephen,
like Ed, in your job and in your world, what about you? Like, how does, because being working for yourself, it's not like you have a HR department of you.
it's a blessing.
How does
Yeah, I
this
have
work
this
in
great
your world?
manager. I have this great manager who's so nice to me. He makes me cups of tea. He lets me have breaks when I want to. No, it's fucking great. There is a reason I work. Partly, yeah, this is a real story. I was in corporate for 6-7 years. I had a sales career, and I was pretty good at it, but ultimately it didn't really serve me. But concurrently, in my final job, there was a guy who I was somewhat naive, and he was of like what is it, Pacific Islander descent. But I just treated him like a regular dude and presumed he would be like a regular dude, but I was very wrong. And I would hang out and talk and be myself with my desk mates and people that had proven to me that I could trust them and that they were chill and they were cool. And I got to talking about this one night where I went to a gay bar and there was a quiz night on, but the quiz had a theme and it was Star Trek. And then they had Star Trek themed gay porn playing during the quiz, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, wow. Like, wasn't expecting this, and I just thought it was really cool. And I snapped a photo of the whole like lounge, so like 100 people quizzing, and in the back is a little TV where it looks like a fake Captain Kirk and Spock from the originals maybe doing something lewd. There was no like nudity, but I had told him that like it was porn, but not in the photo. Anyway, showed him that, and then we had a laugh, and this other guy goes, "Oh, hey, what was that? What are you guys laughing about?" I was like, "Oh, I went to a quiz night, but he's like, yeah," and I was like, "Oh, do you want to see?" He's like, yeah, sure." I was like, okay, so this is this gay bar that I went to, and technically in the background there, like that's gay porn that they're playing, and this whole evening was really crazy and fun. So that's that. And he was just a bit quiet. And then not much happened. He's like, okay, whatever. But then turns out this was his opportunity to explode and completely blow up and like try to sue the company for me sexually harassing him and not protecting him from me and my evil gay ways. And I do know that simultaneously this dude was looking for a reason to explode. He had successfully made enemies with everybody already, and everybody in the company was on my side, but they chose to outsource the HR element, and technically I had sexually harassed this guy, so they found me at fault technically, but everyone in the company was on my side. And there was a resolution that they were happy enough with, and I stayed for another year. But like me being myself, and you know me, Ben, like I love not holding back. I love being real. I love oversharing a bit by social standards, but like I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to share and play and sing and dance and be. And if people, I notice when people think I'm too much, but in this case, like I couldn't tell. And, for this guy, he had some very strict boundaries, and technically by the letter of the law, I violated them. I sexually harassed him, but like, that's bullshit. And it just is so stupid and unfair. And everyone in the situation was vexed because they were like, no, Ed would never have sexually harassed this dude. But I see how by the letter of the law that he did. So like payouts were made and blah, blah, blah. So it was a horrible, horrible experience. And that coincided with me getting into coaching, where maybe the gayer I am, the better it is. I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah.
You tell me.
No, but like that's it. Like, like, and even going back for the year, like I don't think I personally would have been able to do something like that, because I just would have felt completely walking on eggshells for the rest of the time there. Like I'd just be like, I'm just going to insulate myself as a form of protection. Like I know that's what I would do in that instance. So, and it's it's always really difficult in those instances where you're going, well, hold on, like, that's a tricky situation.
Yep. One way to protect yourself is to stay silent, but then it kind of rejects and abandons and crushes you. So it's not really a good
That's
working
it.
solution. And then you get excluded. Your truth, all of you, well, a huge part of you gets excluded from the workplace. And then you have to put up with that, 8-10 hours a day for a huge chunk of your life. That's
it.
It's not real cool.
Not
Stephen,
cool at
what
all.
about you? Do you have some great stories or personal anecdotes of experiences of gayness rubbing up against the workplace?
The one that comes to mind, I was working for a religious organization as an assistant in nursing, and I just did casual work for them, and then suddenly all my shifts were taken away. And I had rent to pay, and we're all economically coerced to work, whether you like it or not. We're in a capitalist society.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out it was because one of the senior nurses was concerned that I'd started a relationship with another female staff member.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and really I'm just very chatty and will talk to anybody, and
right,
never in a million years would I go there with any female. But
yep.
and then there was a very easy solution. Yeah, and there was a very easy solution to that, which is, oh, by the way, I wouldn't because I am gay. I had an answer. However, that would give them all the ammunition they had to fire me legally.
Yeah.
It would not be unlawful discrimination. It would be discrimination, but it wouldn't be unlawful.
Lawful,
so
yeah.
I had to go find another job while scrambling to pay rent, selling my own possessions at that point, trying to cover bills. Or because had I been honest to address an issue, that could have punished me financially and career-wise if I wanted to stay in that. So it's a bit of a roundabout way where it's affected it. But it really left a sour taste in my mouth for a very long time after that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I've ever gone into another workplace and been particularly honest to start with. I always tread carefully. And I say that I started a new workplace last year, and I still didn't speak to anyone like on any sort of personal level for 6 to 8 months, or even sit near them, because I had the option of sitting away. So I just did that, and I just did that out of habit. And that's despite having been, done discrimination law. I know my rights. This workplace was extremely good at making it clear they wouldn't tolerate it, and still I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you find yourself trying to find the ways to self-edit so that you only ever use like non-gendered words to describe. If you do share anything, it's like, oh, with my partner or with my roommate or with just the mental energy that would go into the self-editing that you're doing to make sure that you don't accidentally slip up is like, what you were saying at the beginning, Stephen, is, mental energy you're not putting into learning a new role or doing your job to the best of your ability and things like that.
Yeah. And it's holding you back from connecting with your peers, connecting with your managers, being clearly and openly someone who obviously looks healthy, well-balanced, approachable, open, honest, happy. Yeah. Wow. So, Stephen, this is incredibly personal for you. That's my first time hearing that story. Was it a Queensland state-based thing, or was it Australia did not have sexuality-based discrimination laws because you're like 40-something?
They had the laws because the Queensland Anti-Discrimination Act, the current one's from 1991. But while there is protections on the basis of sexuality, under Section 7, there is after that an exemption for a faith-based institution.
Yes.
So for
is that
anywhere
national
else,
or state?
it's fine. That particular one is state. I would because I worked as a state-based lawyer, so a lot of my knowledge comes from here in Queensland.
Gotcha.
But there aren't a lot of differences between the states in that regard. I've never had a problem practicing in another jurisdiction.
Gotcha.
Because they are so similar.
Okay. So, you might not know the answer to this, but firstly, for anyone who's not Australian listening, a very simple comparison is Queensland is sort of like the Texas. Texas is to America as Queensland is to Australia. A little bit more cowboys, a little bit more Christian, a little bit more conservative. What was the question? So high schools in... I'm much more familiar with Western Australia, but they can dismiss gay teachers. Can they still dismiss gay teachers? Religious high schools?
Yes,
they can.
Yes.
It's so
and
fucking
look, it's written
unbearable.
Yeah,
I hate that so goddamn much.
And as a student, when I was in high school, and maybe my interest went back farther than I realized, but I actually was aware of the fact that I could be discriminated against if I was a gay student.
Yeah.
And the high school I went to, I had a scholarship, and I was always really worried that if they took that, like they discriminated against me, kicked me out, took that off me, my parents were up for tens of thousands of dollars of my education. So
Yeah.
that's actually the single reason I didn't come out in high school. I had no issue with being gay, but I
Yeah.
wasn't willing to create a financial penalty for my family.
Yeah. And that has changed, right? I think this was only 4 or 5 years ago, but the students are absolutely protected by a national law.
Yeah, and even a lot of the faith-based institutions said even if this hadn't changed, we wouldn't do it. So
Yeah. There was an instance a few years ago in Queensland where a school did try and create a document that staff, family, and students had to sign and
yes.
abide. That did occur, but then I think that got quashed very quickly.
Once it came
did
out to the
not.
public sphere, it was
Yes.
there was a
Yeah,
pylon.
it did not pass the pub test.
No.
There was I should have researched this story, I suppose, but there was a student at the time that came forward. Wasn't he like a head boy or something? And he made the news, and he's like, yeah, look, this is what's happening to me. These are the forms that are going around. This is how I'm being treated. This is how I'm feeling. And everyone got behind the student and like piled on the school. That I'm not making things up, am I?
No, and
Anyone
I think
remember that
that
one?
student,
That
it was at the graduation ceremony. He also shared a lot of information about what had happened and his view of the
Oh,
situation. Yeah.
nice. Good for him. I
so
wonder where
like
he is
as
now.
much as it you know shouldn't happen, there are still, I think, instances where it potentially can happen.
Oh, like,
So
Well, if you're
yes, you can still
a
be
high school
treated
student who doesn't want
differently,
to be
right?
outed,
yeah.
Yep. All right. So Stephen, before we get on to like what can we do about this, if anything, do you have anything else that you wanted to share or explore?
not in that regard, I don't think. Although it brought to mind a couple of things I hadn't thought about for quite some time, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I do think there's also a selfish viewpoint to take where if everyone was just comfortable in the workplace, everyone's job would be easier. So a lot of what we've spoken about, people getting angry, what that chap did to you, all that did was make everything harder for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And no one was helped by homophobia or not liking gay people in any of those circumstances. So you could you can even take a selfish point of view, saying like, if I just don't care, we can all just get on with our lives, go home, and just everything's easier. Just everything's easier.
So yeah, I almost said this before. And remember how I gave the example of a straight guy finds out you're gay, and they're like, "Dude, that's so good. I support you so much." And it's like, okay, didn't need that. I was almost like,
didn't need that.
I was sort of clapped at and toasted by a duo of managers once, and it was like, oh, yes, thank you so much. But the bare minimum that could actually be very effective is one that we've all heard before as well, right? I don't care about your sexuality so much. You would not believe how much I do not care about your sexuality. It's like, actually, that's a great minimum to reach.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Like the most I ever say now is thank you for sharing that. And then the conversation moves on. But being genuine about that. Don't be like, oh, thanks for sharing. But actually like, oh, like it's actually quite nice that you're comfortable enough to share that. But we still have this thing too, so can we work on that, please?
Yeah. So that's a brilliant example. Let's talk about, quote unquote, bring your whole self to work. And also let's get proactive about thinking about what can we do that would make a positive change. So you've just role modeled like a great example. Hey, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And then moving on. That's a great example. If you just spread that word, like I think a lot of managers out there would love to hear that and go, oh, that's what I could do. Great. Very effective. Anything else? Oh, wait, before we do anything else, bring your whole self to work. How does this land for you guys? Ben, do you want to go first?
Look,
can you?
There's a part of me that leans towards it kind of is just a box ticking exercise where we say the phrase, which means we're doing the thing, we're outwardly presenting as we are here and we're accepting and it's all good. But then in reality is if I did, is it actually still going to be okay?
Yeah.
Like there's just for me there's just almost an element of distrust involved.
Yep.
Just because you never necessarily know, is it okay for all of Ben to show up, or is there going to be an issue that I haven't foreseen?
Yeah.
And
it's not
I
even
feel like
just
that's a little bit of Ben. That could be a little bit of just Ben's past experience influencing the thought pattern.
Yep. But it's so wide ranging and so sort of dreamy and aspirational, because what if your workplace's clients have a problem for religious or
Yeah.
bigoted or any reason at all? Then it's not the company who may stand 100% behind bring your whole self to work. But if a client sours a deal, or you get in drama, or there's drama that is disruptive to business, then bringing your whole self, including your sexuality and identity, to work has caused anti-business outcomes. Like, do they really want us to bring our whole selves to work? I know it means well, but it doesn't feel practical. It doesn't feel real.
Yep. Yeah,
Stephen?
I think you've kind of summed that up, how I would feel about that. Yeah. Stephen?
Yeah, and like basically what you said, Ed, it's aspirational. It's a very nice idea. And it is also the right idea. You should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But also you also hit on what Australian law often addresses, that the business still needs to run, because like the government and we all have a sort of vested interest in people staying employed, and for people to stay employed, businesses have to run. So if something does hurt the business, especially a small business, I don't think you can bring a whole self to work if it's going to really harm the financial interests of more than a handful of people. So yeah, bring a whole self to work great in bigger organizations where they can absorb those sorts of hits, or for government organizations, because the government will run the way the government runs according to the law. But outside of that, it can just be a bit performative, that yes, we do this until it hurts us financially. And they're not necessarily going to get punished for that, because the government also wants these businesses to succeed.
Is there some kind of phrase we can come up with that says in advance, like, hey, just in case anyone is LGBTQIA plus to infinity, hashtag yay, you're all great. You're all pre-accepted. You don't even have to talk about it. If you want to, you can, but let's make it quick because you're beautiful and it's irrelevant to work. Thank you. Like, is that it?
I think that's it. You nailed it, Ed.
All right. Hopefully someone recorded that and we'll chuck it in the induction packs. And we did it. We saved the world. Good job.
Look at us go. Done.
Does anyone have any more thoughts about what could be improved? Are there things the gays could do differently? Is there things society could do differently? Any thoughts?
That's a good one. Like, is there something like, we could do differently that,
I think so.
Oh,
right, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be both selfish and self-interested. Hey, does everybody remember Brown Bear Coaching? Woo!
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totes do.
How could I forget?
It rings a bell.
I think the gays.
I think there was a couple of weeks where I was attending, like definitely not like months on end. Yeah.
I think I saw you there. Oh no, I think it was
once,
months
twice.
On end. They felt never ending, Ben. It was such a slog. You were so difficult.
It was. It
really hated you really every session. So painful.
Like, it was. I could tell the eye roll every time we saw
Yeah. And the abuse, like it just, I just wouldn't leave you alone eventually, and the bullying. Yeah. No.
Horrible.
I think the gays, if this is just a general statement, it's not fair, but actually I think it's reasonable if we work on bringing our whole self to our whole self generally, not just at work, but before work. Like, get comfortable, get in touch with, get to know, stop running from, start listening to, stop judging, try to accept yourself and all of yourself in every single way that you are. everything that you didn't choose, everything that's a consequence of everything that's already happened in your life, in your past, from your family, from your parents, from your genes, from your nation, from your religion. Just go, okay, all of that has happened. And I am me, and that is allowed. And I'm okay, and I am enough. And I am worthy of love and acceptance and belonging in the exact same way that anybody else does. I do not need this workplace to accept me, to love and accept myself. I can work in this workplace as a person that already loves and accepts themselves. And this is, as you know, guys, because you know me intimately and all the work, and you've both read my illustrated storybook, A Gay Man, which explores this in emotional, vivid, eye-popping detail. Grab a copy today. No, I'm not even going to tell you where you can buy it. No, I will. agaymanbook.com. But yeah, if we do that first, all of this will be less of an issue because we'll be more capable of like, okay, I'm going to be tactical when I choose to be tactical, which is to closet myself effectively. But I also will come out and I will expect to be protected by the law as per, what I am owed. But I don't need to disrupt my workplace with my sexuality. I don't want to. I don't think any gay or queer person wants to be disruptive. We don't. We're sort of caught between a rock and a hard place. But if you can love and accept yourself and be well adjusted as you enter the workplace, all of this is going to be so much easier and smoother. And, when it's water cooler talk and whatever, let's go with the typical thing. Like some straight guy basketball player wants to be a lawyer, currently a middle manager. Sorry if that's personal, Stephen. Don't know if you play basketball, but also you're not straight. If he is like, hey man, what did you do on the weekend? And you're like, oh, actually, I went with my boyfriend for coffee at this cafe and it was really good. You'll feel able to say it and ready to be accepted by him. Sometimes we are our own, we trip ourselves up when we present ourselves as if we doubt ourselves and if we fear our own truth and if we can't accept and handle our own existence, then we role model to other people maybe how they should respond to us or feel about us. So sometimes if we're not as self-loving and well-adjusted as perhaps we could be, we're actually causing other people to not know how to feel and act around us. But if we are very confident and clear and connective about ourselves and our lives and our truth with other people, then we show them like, this is okay. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm not a ticking time bomb. You might trigger me, but only for regular reasons. Like my gay is not a threat to you. And that might relax the people around us. And then the workplace could move on easier and it could just all go easier. Thank you for listening.
No, I agree and I like it.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much. Boys, let's enjoy moving through the wind down. So first is cool gay shit. Ben, what cool gay shit have you got for us today?
Well, speaking of bringing your whole self to work, there is a farmer in Germany who has just started rescuing gay male rams. How are they gay, I hear you ask? Well, after some deep dive and some research, they're essentially rams that have absolutely no interest in mating with ewes at all. 0 stars.
And this is like 10% of it's 10% of sheep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually a larger percent than I thought. I'm like,
yeah.
Go you guys.
The US normally. Sorry, Ben. I do apologize.
Go.
I understand that this started when the US military was researching like a gay bomb. They seriously did this to try and create a gay bomb to turn the enemy gay to reduce cohesion and morale in the enemy. And because farmers have been aware for a long time that there are lots of rams that are 100% male dedicated, good for you. They were like, they must have a gene.
Not good for ewes.
There's a chemical, not good for the ewes, unless they're best friends or whatever, I guess. Bitching about Brian Ram. So like 10% of sheep are gay, and the military tried to investigate it, and that's why I already know some of this. But did you know that?
No, that's amazing.
Okay, cool. There's so much Wikipedia to be done.
I'm gonna have to do so much more reading now. If I don't sleep till 3 a.m., I'm holding you personally responsible. So normally these rams are discarded by the industry. However, this farmer has started collecting them, and they use the wool to create garments, and they raise money for LGBT groups and to promote LGBTQIA+ visibility. Now, this is my favorite part. The material and wool is gathered and used in a particular fashion line labeled I Will Survive. And it just tickles all of my funny bones and it brings me so much joy. But the kicker is not only do they save these gay male rams, you can sponsor them. You can sponsor your very own gay sheep. I don't have the prices, but you can bet straight after this podcast, I'm going to go figure out what I have left in my budget for this year to have my very own German pet gay ram sheep thing.
Gay wool.
I need it.
I've just had a quick
And-
Google. It looks like Grindr sponsored a runway, and this is happening. Grindr presents 2 months ago I Will Survive collaboration with Rainbow Wool Official and Michael Schmidt Studios.
Oh my god, yes. And if I can buy some of this wool, you can bet I am going to crochet my own little like gay sheep thing.
Yes.
That I will have. Yes. If I do, I will make sure I post a photo online.
Excellent. Or at least in Brown Bear School, right?
Well, on Brown Bear School, yes.
Fuck yeah. That's fucking cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's amazing. It makes me sad as well to think about all of the other 10% that just get shot, I guess. Discarded?
Well,
Does that mean shot?
I mean, the ones that aren't saved and are gay, I'm assuming so. But like the straight rams are being used to make other sheep for
wool, and then they're all getting shot and eaten anyway.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks, Ed. I was excited about my sponsoring my gay ram, and now you got me all thinking about that.
It is hilarious, though. It is fun. But yeah, we still eat and murder sheep all the time for food.
But they're so delicious. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
So the next mini segment that we have, carrying on from last week's episode after Boots discussion, we have our Snog, Marry, Avoid. Now, we did carbs. We're going to move back into the realm of fantasy and a little bit of fantasy smut-esque monsters. Snog, Marry, Avoid. Stephen, Edward, I present to you Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Mummy. In wrappings, not the hot guy who is the mummy in the Mummy movies.
Okay. All right. Stephen, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first. Well, I'd marry Dracula because he owns a castle. If he's being smart with his finances, he's had a
housing crisis. I get it.
Yeah, but also has had centuries for any interest in his accounts to turn over. So he's probably very, very rich. So if anything happens to him, half of that set me up for life, which could be very long if he turns me as well. I would snog the mummy, especially if he's in the bandages, because you can really picture whoever you want under it, can't you? So you're only limited by your imagination, and I have an expansive one myself, which means I would then avoid Frankenstein, which I think is for the best, because I don't know who I'm getting in that one or whose parts of things, and if one of his parts came from a homophobe, I don't want any part of that. So that's who I'd be like, avoid. That's how I would split them up.
Oh, right, cool. Okay.
Very nice.
Ed.
Yep. Oh dear, here we go. Okay, I'm going to straight up marry Frankenstein because that freaky, creepy strangeness comes with a lot of like lightning-powered, thick mask strength, and I just need more of that in my life. Like he can oog-arg towards me, and we can work it out together. And I think that we will.
Oog-arg. Yep.
That. We can oog-arg together. I'm going to. I'm going to avoid Dracula because fancy dress and like nice cutlery, it just ain't me. It's a lot of bloody mucking around, and I know he likes his clothes, and I just don't have time for that. I have a little bit of time for that, but not much time at all. So no thanks, Dracula. That's just too much work. And the mummy, what a mystery, right? I'm with Stephen. Like it could be anyone underneath, but the mystery is interesting. So I'd kiss it and then just see what happens. You know.
Nice. I like it.
Thank you.
I mean, I quite like that, you use bloody when describing Dracula. Love that. That tickled once again. Freaking love a dad joke and a pun. God, that's great. So for me, snog, marry, avoid. I would probably marry the mummy, but again, kind of housing crisis. There's lots of gold, treasure, and who wouldn't want to live in a pyramid? Thank you very much. Also, don't need to worry about door knockers because there's a freaking curse.
Yeah, I can
Done.
see you living in a
Love
pyramid,
that.
Ben. Yep.
Thank you. I could too. I would rock one of those like pharaoh hats with like
You
the
would
snake and
thrive.
stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I would live my best Cleopatra life right there. I'd probably snog Dracula only because you know what? If there's a little bit of a neck bite, oh no, what a shame. I'd hate that.
Oh, you want
no,
that?
Please stop. Oh no, that'd be horrible. I'd hate that. Do it again.
Immortality, super strength. What are our vampire rules? What if you have to knock to get let into people's houses like forever? You can't just walk in. That's inconvenient.
Oh no, unable to visit people. That'd be horrible.
Everlasting inconvenience, Ben. That's not good.
Everlasting. Oh no,
you've got the
introvert. oh no, I have to stay home. I can't possibly visit someone. They said no.
I have to entertain in the pyramid with the snake hat again. Oh.
Life is so hard. Let me just throw myself down onto the reclinable thing that's here. Oh, life is hard. And I would avoid Frankenstein purely because I reckon I could outrun him.
Oh, okay. And that is saying something. I know you, Ben.
I know. I lift
Remember
heavy things.
episode?
I don't do cardio.
Sorry.
I lift a heavy thing and I put it down.
Yes.
No,
yes, you
I love
do.
it.
You told me that you gained 12 kilos of muscle in, what was it, 18 months?
Yeah, something like that. Something along
Dude,
the
that's
lines
so
of that.
elite. That's such a journey. Are you still lifting?
Look. Yeah, still lifting. Slightly less now. Still healing from surgery. I can't. The surgeon is like, no more heavy stuff. I'm like, sure, surgeon. I'll listen to you.
Doctor's orders.
So that's fine.
Stephen, do you lift? Do you lift, brah?
Only not too much. I was more of a cardio person, so doing half marathons and one full marathon. I do a lot of lifting now, but that's as part of rehab because I've had a couple of shoulder reconstructions. So I do trundle down and do all the squats and flies and whatever the PT tells me to do.
Okay, that qualifies. I let him in. Excellent.
Done.
I was holding the gate, but I will let him in.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for holding it open.
All right. I love to hold it open. No double entendres. It's cheap. It's cheap comedy. All right.
No, we would never.
Kind of crappy affirmation. Is that where we're at? Have we skipped the
Yep, that's where we're at.
Grinder stuff? The funny Grinder stories?
I mean, you can tell a funny Grinder story, and I have my crappy affirmation.
I feel like we've taken it out of the show notes. I also have a crappy affirmation. Okay, I'm going to do the solo LOL Grinder story. Thank you, LOL Grinder. Endless source of entertainment. Yellow. Why are you typing in all caps? Blue. Am I not allowed to? Yellow. You can, but it seems unnecessary and like you're shouting. Not a sexy vibe, really. Blue. So would you like to see a picture of my ass?
Oh gosh. No. Why?
Just too real.
I love it so much.
It's so, right? I love that, Stephen. It's too real. It's so real. It's so real.
Oh my god.
Alrighty.
Do you want to do your crappy affirmation?
I will. All right. Everyone, breathe in with me. And breathe out. Okay, good. I'm glad Dad got that all out.
Thank you.
Be soft, be loud, be kind, and never apologize for the glitter.
Delicious, deep, soulful. I can't imagine a better affirmation. Thank you, Ben.
I know, right?
Mine is brought to you today by Claude AI. I do enjoy Claude, maybe a little bit more than ChatGPT. And Claude has given me, I am doing okay, I guess. And that That's fine.
That one is going on my bathroom mirror.
Yes. What an affirmation. What a segment, really, in many ways. At giant risk of getting a dud answer or dead air, Stephen, do you ever have any affirmations? Crap or otherwise?
Like real. The one I live by is
Yep.
2/3 done is half by effort. So when you are 2/3 of the way through anything, you've only put in half the amount of effort you'll need to do. And I picked it up from law, where you'd be close to a trial, but the last third of the time you spent was over half of what you were working on. And also in a marathon, the last 7 kilometers are just as hard as the first 14.
Nice.
So pace yourself accordingly, people.
That's wonderful.
I like
do you remember,
that.
Ben, do you remember at the top of the show where I said Stephen has this very like effective cut through, like he's a good communicator? Do you see what I mean? See what I fucking mean?
Yeah. Hashtag goals.
Stephen.
Hashtag aspiration.
Some people have big penises.
Voice.
Stephen has this. Blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
All penises are beautiful, and so are all intellects, especially the slightly dumb ones. I actually do find them quite beautiful myself. All right. Cool. On that bombshell, would anybody like to say, share, or ask anything before we wrap up? Feeling good?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. All right. Thank you very, very much for being with us, Stephen. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Obviously, join Brown Bear School, hottest place on the planet for gay men getting their work done. Confident, clear, clarity. Feedback welcome in the community chat on this episode. Thank you very much, Stephen. Looking forward to having more future guests discussing more topics. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now. That's it for this week.
See you later, and make good choices.
Stephen, say something quick. Say something zany and yeah.
Catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, sweet alligator. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.